Hare Krishna. Welcome to our evening katha. We hope all of you are safe and sound. We hope you're taking advantage of this very strange time to do more studying and reading and increase your bhajan. We're trying to help by doing this katha every evening. It's also a big help for me to engage me in service to the Vaishnavas. So today yesterday we were in Radha Kund, so we'll continue from there, doing our prikrama around Radha Kund and Shama Kund. And we'll sing that very favorite song of Srila Rupa Goswami, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Damodara-rati Bardana Bese Harini Skuta Vrinda Vipine Se. Damodara-rati Bardana Bese Harini Skuta Vrinda Vipine Se. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Taruni Mandala Mohite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Madhava Daite. Karunam Karumai Karuna Bharite. Sanaka Sanatana Barnite Charite. Karunam Karumai Karuna Bharite. Sanaka Sanatana Barnita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. So again, welcome to our evening katha. We hope you're all safe and sound and taking advantage of this time to increase your bhajan. We're here to serve you with some nice katha about Radha Kund. So, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadandigam Adadana Srinandan Tairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padam Bhujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So one thing we'd like to inform you is we won't be here tomorrow afternoon. We'll be online at 8 o'clock in the morning, because tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Jayananda Thakur. He was a very dear friend of mine, so they've asked me to speak in the temple. So either you can watch on Facebook Live or you can watch on Vrindavan.tv. At 8 o'clock in the morning Indian time, we'll be speaking about the wonderful glories of Jayananda Thakur. Such a wonderful devotee. Mr. Rath Yatra. We're having Rath Yatras all over the world, all due to the efforts and great parishram efforts of our Jayananda Thakur. So yesterday we left off at Krishnadas Kaviraj's Bhajan Kutir. Now this place originally was very, very run down. We used to go there. There was one poor Babaji who was ready to leave his body. He never kept it clean. It was filled with cobwebs. There was nothing there. Just we put our heads in the dust of the place and accepted this is where Chaitanya Charitamrita was written. And then some person, the Baba who took over, he never told. It may have been from ISKCON, may have been from Bengal. Somebody wanted to renovate the place. So they made a big room, very, very nice and clean and neat with tiles and everything, and fixed up the front room. And then they came to me. They wanted a picture of Krishnadas Kaviraj writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And they knew that ISKCON is very, very famous artists. And when Babaji had painted a picture that he saw in his bhajan, one day in his heart he saw this picture. Krishnadas Kaviraj sitting under a tree, peacock is dancing there, monkey is also looking, and he's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So they wanted a copy made to be worshipped there in Krishnadas Kaviraj's Bhajan Kutir. So at that time, there was one nice lady from South Africa named Archa Bigra. She was very famous, a painter in South Africa. Everyone knew her. And she became disciple of Srila Giriraj Maharaj. And at the end she got cancer, so she came here to Vrindavan, built a house to be left to Giriraj Maharaj. And it was her inspiration of coming to Vrindavan. She realized she had nice facility, but devotees don't have nice facility. So by her inspiration, Giriraj Maharaj built this Vrindavan Bhaktivedanta hospice. Difference between a hospice and a hospital. Hospital means there's hope, but when there's no hope, then you go to the hospice. They just try to make your departure, there's no question of cure, they just try to make your departure as comfortable as possible. Basically that's what a hospice is. So anyway, she did a copy of this painting, and every artist has his own style, but if you see the original painting and the copy that she made, she copied that Babaji's style completely. You cannot tell. So this very beautiful picture, Krishnadas Kaviraj sitting, squatting on the ground, writing on palm leaves, and peacock is dancing in the tree, monkey is standing nearby, his little water pot is there, and he's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the actual appearance day of Chaitanya Charitamrita is coming soon. I'd have to look at my calendar, but I just remember it's always around May, so now May started. Unfortunately, I doubt we'll be able to go there this year. Every year for Krishnadas Kaviraj's disappearance day, which comes on that Kartik, that Dwadasi before Kartik, as we mentioned yesterday. So one time the Baba who's staying there now, Narottam Baba, he keeps the place immaculately clean. He takes very good care of this place. Wonderful devotee, Narottam Baba. So he confided to me that his dream was always to have a procession for for Krishna's Kaviraj's disappearance day, with this painting taken all around Radha Kund and Shama Kund. So of course he just said, Baba, he couldn't do it. So then I made a little collection from some devotees, and we started very simply. And every year it's grown. In Facebook we always do a fundraiser to raise funds, and we have big feasts there. We bring a whole bus of devotees. We join with the Radha Kund devotees, and we take that picture on a procession all around Radha Kund and Shama Kund, then back. Then we have nice artik, and then all the Vaishnavas sit at the lotus feet of Krishna's Kaviraj and Raghunath Das Goswami and have wonderful feasts. So that's every year on the Dwadasi before Kartik starts. So from Krishna's Kaviraj's Bhajan Kutir, we go down a little lane and turn to the right. And we come to a rather large temple. We turn into a little doorway that leads to another doorway, and we come into a very large temple with the most exquisitely beautiful deities of Radha Govinda. Because remember that Radha Govinda were established here in Vrindavan, on our Vrindavan Prikrama. We went there and found how Rupa Goswami was told that a cow was pouring milk into the ground on a special place. So he called all the villagers, they dug and found the Radha Govinda deity that had been established by Vajranam. So eventually the Mughals began to attack, so they took it to Radha Kund. They built a beautiful temple there, and finally he's gone to Jaipur. And the Vijari there, Vamsidhari, he takes very nice care, always very, very beautiful. Worship is going on, they're dressed very attractive, most attractive. You'll just be astounded when you see these deities. As soon as you see them, we're immediately swept away and begin chanting, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe. So this is the only sign we have of Rupa Goswami's presence, because these were the deities of Rupa Goswami, but there's no specific bhajan kutir. There's an interesting story of Rupa Goswami, because one time Sanatana Goswami came to visit him in Radha Kund and wanted to see what he was writing. And he was writing a beautiful poem about Srimati Radharani. In that poem he described that Radharani's hair and braid was just like a cobra, black snake. And Sanatana Goswami said, what is this? How can you describe Srimati Radharani in comparison with such a lowly creature as that? So Rupa Goswami said, well, you think about it, you tell me what I should write. So Sanatana Goswami was thinking all day. Then on the other side of Radha Kund, he saw some little girls, Brajbasi girls, swinging on a swing. And as he was watching, the braid of that one girl went up in the air. It looked like a big black snake about to attack her. And Sanatana Goswami came running and running and running. He said, look out, look out. And all the girls laughed at him, and then he looked again and nobody was there. But if you look from the back, the woman's hair looks just like the fun, what do you say, the hood of the cobra, and then the braid goes down just like the body of the cobra, like that. Then he realized this was the perfect simile to use. He ran back to Rupa Goswami, fell at his feet. He said, whatever you've written, it is perfect, leave it as it is. Then before we leave this place, we go out the door of the temple and we turn left, and the little stairway leads us to a little path that takes us to the Jibya Mandir. And we know Jib, every day we say Jiba Fele Visaya. This tongue is the most difficult to control. So this is the tongue of Govardhan. If we'll go back to our Raghunath Das Goswami, he was seeing that people were using the water from Shama Kund for their bathing and other types of morning activities. He thought this is not such a good idea. So in the corner of Radha Kund there's a well called Gop Kuan. Nowadays people been calling it Gopi Kuan, but all the old sadhus and the old signs there say Gop Kuan, the old cowherd boy well. So he thought, let me excavate that, then people can use that water instead of water for Shama Kund for their morning duties. So he hired some workers and they were digging and digging and digging and digging, and they hit some stone. And when they hit the stone with their digging instrument, then blood started coming out. And they all became very frightened. Oh, what is that? What is this? What is this? They all ran to Raghunath Das. They said, we were digging, some stone is there, we hit the stone, blood is coming, we do not know what is the thing. So Raghunath said, all right, you stop the digging for today. Tomorrow I will come and see what is the thing. So that night in dream, Giriraj came to him and told him, actually they have hit my tongue. But it is not on purpose, it is by accident, so there is no aparad. But in the morning they should carefully get that shila out of the well and place it on the banks of Shama Kund and worship with water of Shama Kund and tulsi leaves, like that. So in the morning they went there very carefully, they dug that shila out of the ground, and he's been placed on the bank of Shama Kund at this beautiful place, and being worshipped there very nicely. In fact, our dear god sister Kusa Devi, who's now lifting up the temple in Honolulu, because she's from that place, so she's trying to taken over the temple and trying to bring things up to standard. So we can give all her blessings. She made very nice eyes and nose and silver mouth and silver tilak. Very beautifully she fixed up. This little shrine is there. Then other people have put beautiful paintings and tiles around and everything. Very nice places there. In fact, if you want to give a donation for the work, you can go to radharani.com. radharani.com. They clean up the Kund, they feed the widows there. They made a beautiful, it used to be just weed patch, but now beautiful garden is there, so you can go to radharani.com and give a donation. So this is the Jibya Mandir, the tongue temple of Govardhan. So paying obeisance at the lotus feet of Giriraj, Bosi Giriraj Maharaj Ki, we'll continue on our Prikrama. And we leave the Radha Govinda temple complex, and suddenly we see on the road so many people selling japa beads. Just looks like waterfalls of japa beads coming down off the buildings. Waterfalls and waterfalls. And then we leave the Prikrama path and go straight. Instead of the Prikrama path turns right, we go straight down the lane and we come to Braja Swananda Sukhada Kunj. Now we all remember, or many of you remember who've been on Navadip Mandal Prikrama, that we get to go Drumadweep. There's the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And what is the name of his house in Drumadweep? Swananda Sukhada Kunj. So Bhaktivinoda purchased this land and made a little bhajan kutir there. This is Braja Swananda Sukhada Kunj. And inside we'll find there's a tiny little room, an even smaller room behind, and there's the Puspa Samadhi of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Puspa Samadhi of his son Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Param Gurudev. And some other Puspa Samadhis are there. And then there's a room, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also used to stay there. And you can see when you go for the Bhagavad Gita class in Vrindavan, in that library room of Srila Prabhupada, there's a charcoal painting of Prabhupada meeting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in that very room. And he's got his son Vrindavan Das with him, who was just a little boy at the time. So this is the actual room. And that same rope bed that we see Bhaktisiddhanta sitting on, that rope bed is there, his shoes are there. There's even, because in his old age, Bhaktisiddhanta couldn't move his knees, bend his knees. One of the only Western toilet is there in Radha Kund is there. and inside a little box they have his walking cane. So his table is there, his chair is there, everything original used by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and Prabhupada also, our Prabhupada visited this place a couple of times. So this is a very special place. And we know that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, in the morning you should brush your mind with a broom 100 times. In the evening you should take a stick and beat it 100 times. This dusta mana, this crooked mind was always trying to take us away from Krishna consciousness. So whenever devotees visit, we always take that cane out of the big long box there, and we hit everybody on the head with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's actual cane. So this is Braja Swananda Sukhada Kunj. And some devotees from Gaudiya Math are maintaining this place very nicely. Then we go down the street, back to the Prikrama path, and then we make another left turn, and we come to the Jagannath temple of Radha Kund. Very cute deities of Jagannath. Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra Maharani there. And I have a dear friend, Swarup Das, who's the pujari there, taking care of this temple. He's written books in English and Hindi on Brajmandal Prikrama, and he takes very nice care of Lord Jagannath there. Even if you ask him, he has picture of 1987 when they did the cleaning of Radha Kund. He has two pictures, one of 87 and one in 2010 when they did the cleaning of Radha Kund. Both pictures you can see that you'll be astounded when you see how many steps down Radha Kund actually goes before you see in the middle the Kankan Kund. And he has maps of Govardhan Prikrama, as well as he has a whole set of maps of whole Brajmandal, then Giriraj, then he has of every place in Braj, Nandagam, Barsana, Govardhan, Mathura, Vrindavan, Gokul, Dauji, every place he has sold whole sets for only 50 rupees, best deal in Braj. So after paying our obeisance to Lord Jagannath, they also do Rath Yatra there every year, all around Radha Kund and Shama Kund. So then we come back out to the Prikrama path and continue to the left, and we come to Lalita Kund. Now, all the kunds of the Sakhis used to be all around Radha Kund and Shama Kund, but everyone has disappeared, only this Lalita Kund is still in existence. And it was in rather poor shape, but the same fellow I keep talking about, Sriji Baba from Mathura, he made beautiful ghats there. He made a little shelter. You can shelter from the sun and the rain, and some dioramas he made there. And then recently the devotees cleaned it, and most of the devotees who were doing the cleaning were from ISKCON devotees, and they put a little fountain. It's hardly ever running, but there's a beautiful fountain in the middle to keep the water aerated so that algae doesn't come. So we see this beautiful Lalita Kund, and this is where, when they did the cleaning, they pumped all the water from Radha Kund into Shama Kund, and then there's a canal that connects to Lalita Kund. They dammed up the canal, they pumped the water over the dam and into Lalita Kund, and it went out into the fields, and all the great big tortoises like that, they all dropped them there in Lalita Kund. So if you watch for a while, you'll see these huge tortoises like this swimming there in Lalita Kund, getting the mercy of Lalita Devi. And on the building opposite, one of our Russian devotees has made a beautiful painting of Lalita Devi, whose garments are described in Radha Krishna Ganodesha Dipika, the color of peacock feathers. So these beautiful greenish and bluish garments, very beautiful painting of Lalita Devi. So paying our obeisances and praying to Lalita Devi, because our Rupa Goswami says that Radha and Krishna are doing their pastimes under your protection. So I don't have to go to anybody else. If you will give the word for them to show mercy to me, then they will definitely show mercy because they're under your control. So we beg for Lalita Devi's mercy, and then just ahead is that building where the painting is, this is a temple of a Nimbarka Sampradaya, and there's beautiful deities of Lalit Bihari there. Then we turn the corner to the right and we come to a tiny little temple. This is Lokanath's deities. What were their name? Not Gokulananda's. Radha Binod. We come to this is where Radha Binod stayed when he was on his way to Jaipur. He's staying in Jaipur. If you can find Radha Damodar temple, then just around the corner there's a little tiny narrow passageway with a stairway up to the second floor. You find the beautiful deities of Radha Binod of Lokanath Goswami. And this temple, they have the Pratibhu deities of Radha Binod, and in front of the temple they have these cutest little lions, and they have a little sculpture of Krishna playing his flute, and very sweet little place, intimate little place. Always kirtan is going on there. So after we offer our respects to Radha Binod and our respects to Lokanath Goswami, who was the first of the Goswamis to come here and begin looking for the lost places of Krishna's pastimes, then just a little ahead to the right, we make a little right into a lane, and then left immediately, we come to the sitting place of Madhavinda Puri. We told all about Madhavinda Puri the other day, how he found the beautiful deity of Gopal, who's now gone to Nathadwar and become Srinathji. So Madhavinda Puri he was wandering all over Braj. So this is the sitting place of Madhavinda Puri, who was a Kalpavriksha tree in Braj Lila. So we'll pay our respects to Madhavinda Puri. Nice little shrine is there of Madhavinda Puri sitting by Shamakund. Then we come back out, and in front of us is Gop Kua. We heard about Gop Kua, where the tongue of Govardhan was found. And we'll circumambulate that well and take some dust on our foreheads and continue on. Then we come just down the street a little ways. If you know where to look, there's the Astasakhi Mandir. I only know of 3 Astasakhi Mandirs, one in Vrindavan we told about the other day, and one in Barsana. When you come down this big long stairway of Barsana, and you pass all the lassi shops and turn to the right, then there's a big palace doorway. You go inside, very simple places there, and beautiful Astasakhi Mandir is there. But this is the Astasakhi Mandir of Radha Kund. And wonderful little pujarini is there, old lady there named Raj Dulari. Raj Dulari means the daughter of the king, the princess. Her name Raj Dulari means princess. And she's so sweet, always singing so sweetly and anxious to give us Mahaprasad. Very sweet little, and we see Radha and Krishna and Lalita Visakha, Chitra Champaka, Induleka Tungavidi, Rangadevi and Sudevi. They're not very big, it's a very small little temple. Then we go down the path, and in front of us a little path. If you're adventurous, you can go down that path. You come to Bankandi Mahadev, one Lord Shiva temple, who's one of the guardians of Radha Kund. And the very entrance of Radha Kund is Kundeswar Mahadev. This is on the opposite side of the Kund. This is Bankandi Mahadev, because Ban, of course, means forest and Kund means area. So he's out a little ways in the jungle from there. And beyond that place, way out in the fields, used to be so many Kadamba trees there. Beautiful place was there. Now it's all plowed up. But this is where Krishna chased Shankhachuda. You remember we went on, or maybe we didn't go, on Govardhan Prikrama. There's one place called Shamban. And that's where Krishna and Balaram and the gopis were having their Ras Leela, and the Shankhachuda came and tried to take away the gopis. And Krishna kept the gopis with Balaram, and he ran all the way out to this place beyond Radha Kund, and he killed Shankhachuda, and he took that beautiful conch shell jewel and gave it to Lord Baladev. So then we turn right, and then there's some steps going down. There's a palm tree growing there, and a big enclosure. This is Mahaprabhu's Betak. Just like when you come to India, everybody always telling you, Beto, 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 sit down, sit down. So Betak is a place where you sit, sitting place. So we remember when we first told about the pastime of Radha Kund, that Mahaprabhu came, and he was asking everyone, where is Radha Kund and Shama Kund? He sat here at this place, and he saw two paddy fields. One was Kali, blackish, and one was Gori, golden. So we understood these two rice paddy fields were none other than Radha Kund and Shama Kund. Kali was Shama Kund, and Gori was Radha Kund. And there's beautiful painting on the wall there of Mahaprabhu taking bath in the paddy fields, and all the villagers are astounded. What is this sadhu doing, taking bath in the paddy field? This place also was in very simple shape. There used to be no roof over it, and we used to have to sit there, and by this time we're quite a way around Radha Kund. So it used to be very hot there. And there was a beautiful tamal tree, because another name of this place is Tamal Tala. So there was an old ancient tamal tree there. They say that is the tree that Mahaprabhu sat underneath. But the monkeys were coming and ripping up the leaves and disturbing it so much. So somebody gave a donation to Brindakund and asked me to try to put a cage around the tree so that it would be safe from the monkeys. So when I came to Radha Kund, I found some people from Assam were building a whole big building, and they were planning to have grills and everything so that tree would be safe. So I just gave the donation to them to help with that project. And unfortunately, before they could finish the project, that tree on the Nirjala Ekadasi of 1996, Prabhupada's centennial year, that tree entered into the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, and there's a black spot on the floor where that tree used to grow. They planted another one, but it never grew, probably because it wasn't getting any sun. So they just blocked it up with black marble. But there's a little shrine there. They have the lotus footprints of Mahaprabhu, and a beautiful painting of Mahaprabhu sitting at Govardhan, or sitting at Radha Kund actually, not at Govardhan. And so many beautiful, after they built this big hall, then somebody came and above the grills, up to the ceiling, they put beautiful paintings. First they have Raghunath Das Goswami sitting in Puri, and in the background you can see they're throwing out the rice to the cows, and Raghunath Das was so renounced. He used to take that rice that even the cows have rejected. It was so rotten that even the cows wouldn't eat it. He would take that rice and scrape off the rotten part and just take the inner kernel and collect that all up and eat. And when Mahaprabhu, because first he was putting on big feasts. We know Raghunath Das, he was putting on big feasts. His father sent 2 Brahmins and a lot of money. So he thought, let me feed the Vaishnavas. Then he thought, my father's just a materialistic person. What is the use of using this money for materialists for serving the Vaishnavas? So he started going to the gate at Singadar gate and would beg prasadam from the pujaris. But he felt himself, I'm just like a prostitute that person gave yesterday, maybe he'll give today. This is too much botheration in the mind. He started going to the free stalls. Then every time Mahaprabhu would ask about Raghunath, they said, oh, he's doing this. Ah, very nice. Now he's eating from the free stalls. Oh, very nice. Mahaprabhu was very pleased with his renunciation. So then, he went to the place where they dumped out the rice, and even the cows didn't eat it. He would scrape off the bad part and put it on his plate and eat that. So Mahaprabhu, when he heard what Raghunath was doing, he ran to the spot. So there in the painting, you can see Mahaprabhu came. He said, Raghunath, you were having a feast and you didn't invite me. And Mahaprabhu was putting his hand in the pile of rotten rice, And Raghunath Das is trying to stop him, but Mahaprabhu took that rice and said, "Oh, Raghunath, what type of feast you're having? You didn't invite me," like this. The next painting is Advaitacharya in Shantipur sitting on the bank of the Ganga, worshipping his shalagram. And he remembered that verse that the Lord sells himself for just a little bit of water, and a palmful of water and a tulsi leaf. So he thought, let me worship with tulsi. So actually it's tulsi. There's another reason Vrinda Kund is a very special place, because it was Tulsi who called Mahaprabhu to this world. So picture Acharya, Advaitacharya is there. The next picture, of course, is Jagai Madai Leela. Mahaprabhu calling his Sudarshan Chakra and Lord Nityananda stopping him. Then there's a Kazi Leela. Then there's a beautiful picture of Radha and Krishna, because we know Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the avatar of the combination of Radha and Krishna. He's golden on the outside, but he's blackish on the inside. And then there's a picture, as I said, of Mahaprabhu discovering Radha Kund and Shama Kund. And then final picture is Mother Sachi with Viswarup and Nimai. Very beautiful painting is there. So offering our respects at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. The nice marble things are there. We'll, after offering, falling down at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, who was so kind to reveal Radha Kund and Shama Kund to the world, we'll put our voice to rest for tonight. And thank you very much for coming along with us. Tomorrow, as I said, class will be at 8 o'clock in the morning in the Krishna Balaram temple, because it is the disappearance day of our very dear godbrother Jayananda Prabhu, Mr. Rath Yatra. So tomorrow at 8 a.m. Indian Standard Time, IST, actually IST means Indian Stretchable Time, but it will be promptly at 8 o'clock. And so there won't be any, so we'll do that class about Jayananda in the morning, so we won't meet here in the evening. So how many people watching today?
79 right now.
Only 29 today.
79.
79, okay.
You have to say a word for the people who are donating.
And we're very grateful for those, because right now I can't do any prikamas. I have no way to collect for Vrinda Kund. So whoever's donations you're giving, it is a great help, and you can also go to the temple website and give donation, because we've been serving you over the years. You come to Vrindavan to get your spiritual batteries surcharged. So this is your chance to return we've been serving you over the years with prikamas and festivals and so many things. Now for almost 2 months, nobody's coming. Restaurant is closed, bakery is closed, everything is closed. So if you want to, now is your chance to serve Vrindavan. So you can go to iskonvrindavan.com and give some nice donation to help the temple maintain, because we're maintaining the beautiful Gaurnitai Srila Prabhupada for all of you. So now your chance, we've served you over the years, now your chance to serve Vrindavan. And any service in Vrindavan will be rewarded 1,000 times. And you can also send your blessings for our dear Arjun Prabhu, who comes every day to take care of the technical aspects of this transmission. So anyway, with all that, we'll put our voice to rest. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.